Welcome, I'm Darren, and I will not be your professor today as I will be opening up a box of cards. And this is a 1988 Topps Baseball vendor pack is what they refer to these as. It's a box of cards for vending machines, which was something they did in the 1980s, which still fascinates me. These boxes are boxes of 500 cards, and they are sometimes checked for star cards by people. So sometimes when you get these, they've already got some of the best cards removed. But I did one of these very recently, and a box of 87 Topps, and it worked out fine. So I'm going to presume that this is the same. I'm going to hope it's the same. And I've got a couple of questions regarding this, how this will turn out. So the cards in this box come in a form that looks like a complete set. It's actually not a complete set. It's only 500 cards as opposed to the 792 cards that a complete set comes in. They are all in random patterns, and you can see the card design here. And what I noticed in the 87 box is that the cards are most of the cards in the previous box were duplicated. So I'm curious if that's going to be the same case in this particular box. If it's going to be that it's in that case it was 218 cards were duplicated, and then another 66 cards were individual distinctive cards that were unique to the box. So if you're trying to put together a complete set, it makes it a little bit difficult to get toward completing your set. It would take multiple boxes to complete a set in this manner regardless, but when most of the box is duplicates, it really sets you back a long ways. So with these cards, I'm curious if we're going to see a bunch of doubles in it, or if it has more of a clean run of individual cards throughout. It is nice to think that it's nice to know that a box has unique cards, because it gives you the ability to be able to pursue set building without buying too many boxes. This particular set has 2, 4, 6. It has 7 to 8 valuable cards in it, and it has 5 error cards. And I think that I just came across one of them. Let's see. Yeah, Mark McGwire. This is one of the error cards, and it's a white spot by the left foot. Looks like this is the corrected version, which is what I expect. In the 1987 box, there was only one card that was a potential error, and that card was ultimately corrected. So these cards all appear to be late in the print run, and that means that the error cards they're not going to be in there. So there's really no reason to be pursuing these boxes for those high dollar cards. So you're looking basically for the regular cards. There are 2 rookies of note, Ken Caminiti and Tom Glavine, and they're not high dollar. Nothing in this set is really high dollar. So it's not one where you're going in trying to get rich quickly. But it's always nice to get the best cards in it, and it already looks like it's an unchecked box. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. It's going to take a while until I find, okay, Nolan Ryan. This definitely is a clean box. But it's going to take a while until I start to notice any patterns that may that may presume that this is in fact a doubled up group of cards. Now, one thing you'll notice about these cards is they're all in spectacular shape. These boxes are really good at preserving the integrity of the corners so that you're not going to have much damage to them. The centering of these cards looks pretty good. And the most important thing with these boxes is the fact that you don't get, there's no gum. And since there's no gum, then that frees up the consistency of the cards. You don't have any cards that are damaged from being on the outside of the pack next to the gum, or gum affecting the cards within the elsewhere in the pack, because gum sometimes can just affect every card in a pack, and it's always tough to get a pack and find that everything is gone. So there's Greg Maddux. The card design for 1988 is a derivation of 87 Topps football, as was the case with Topps. That's just kind of how they rolled. Wow, that card is really tucked in there. And so the card designs, as you can see, there's an inspiration, but it's amazing how different the baseball cards come out from the football, and primarily I don't like the baseball approach. I think that the baseball cards really suffer in comparison to football. Most of the time, I think the football card design comes out better. All right, I'm already coming up on about where I should be seeing the double cards. So this is looking different than the 87. This is looking like there's a good chance that these will all or will largely be unique cards. In the next group that's when I would expect to start noticing names I've already seen. But right now everything looks pretty much unique. So that's a good sign. The Cal Ripken, oh yeah, this is turning out really well. So again, the quality of the cards is excellent, and what I'm noticing here is, unlike in 87, where the centering was so, it was okay. Here the centering looks right when one's way off. On average, I think that the centering tends to be really kind of spot on, and I don't know if that's because they were taking better care at this point of the quality of the cards, or if they had changed out machinery and gotten better consistency overall. But as I'm going through, I feel like this is a set where you could easily put together high-end sets from these boxes, if that's what you want to go for. If you're just looking to pull the quality cards, you don't want to spend a lot on this box, because it's not going to give you a tremendous return financially. Although I think at this point I've gotten most of the valuable cards out of here. I haven't gotten to Ken Caminiti, who is the other of the two valuable rookies. But at this point I can tell that yes, there are very few duplicates, if any. So this is a significant improvement over the 87 box that I opened. This is probably going to get me past halfway on a set. So for set building, this will be a lot more fun. It's not as I said, it's not an expensive set. but it was not an expensive box of cards. So this is one where getting a second, maybe a third box, but hopefully just getting a second box could actually give me a reasonable set opportunity. And by doing this, you get extra cards, which gives you the ability to pick and choose which cards you want to use in your set and get a better aligned set overall. So the valuable cards I got were Tom Glavine rookie card, Cal Ripken junior card, a Barry Bonds card, and a couple of these aren't very well centered. So I've got a Roger Clemens, I've got a Greg Maddux card, I've got a Nolan Ryan card, and then I've got a Barry Bonds and Bobby Bonilla team card. I may have gone shot past a Mark McGwire team leader card and just not noticed it, but that's pretty much what I've got out of here. And then I've got a couple of good record breakers. I have both Nolan Ryan and Mark McGwire, so that's a good pickup. And then as far as the All-Stars go, with Wade Boggs, Roger Clemens, Kirby Puckett, I did pretty well in the All-Stars. Tony Gwynn, yeah. So this set is, I'm very happy with this set so far. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some time and I'm going to order all the cards, and I'm going to see how close I get to the set. I'm going to see how many duplicates that I got out of it. I'm going to find the rest of or however many other error cards I can stumble upon to see if make sure that they're all corrected cards. And so I'm going to cut this off and then come back when I've got everything done and give you a final conclusion on all of this. So I'll see you very shortly. So while I'm sorting here, I wanted to add an audio overlay from well after I finished the recording to mention a couple of things that I didn't say in the video itself. So the first thing I wanted to note is there are three subsets in the set. One of them is the record breakers, 87 record breakers, and it's usually the first couple of cards in every single top set where they do this. The second insert set is their All-Star set. They have NL and AL All-Stars, and then they have their turn back the clock cards, where they just look back at cards from decades in the past. And all three of those cards, along with the checklist, is pretty much standard fare for these top sets. The record breakers and the All-Star cards hold up pretty decently in value because of the newness of the players. The turn back the clock cards are rarely of any value, so they're not usually things that we concern ourselves with. As for the set itself, there are three different types of cards per team. There are the player cards, there are the manager cards, and then there are the team leaders. And the team leaders are sort of a subset, but they really work more as kind of like headers for each set, for each team set proper. On the back of the team leader cards, they have statistics for the season, but the manager cards actually double as team checklists. And then as far as the quality of the cards go, I mentioned in the video that the cards are all largely spot on. I don't mean that these are gem mint cards where they have precise centering and precise cutting, etc. These are never cards that you're going to mistake for modern cards. The centering is off as much as in the packs. The crispness of the corners are as good as the machinery allows. What I mean by this is I don't think you're going to find better quality cards in packs. This is about as high quality as you're going to find for these cards. So that's pretty much about all I wanted to add. I'll get back to sorting and we'll finish this video up shortly. Alright, so I'm back and I finished sorting all the cards, and basically there are only two doubles in this entire box. So if you were intending to build a complete set, this looks like it's pretty much a two-box affair. you always run the chance of getting a lot of duplications between the two boxes, but in essence it's a 500 card box, and the only doubles that I got were Carlton Fisk and Paul Hilgis, so I got 498 cards in the set. I got 3 cards that are potential errors, and in fact this card and the checklist are errors. The Keith Comstock is not, which is too bad. That's the error would have been a really good one. And then as far as the actual dollar or more cards, we have Barry Bonds, Greg Maddux, Nolan Ryan, Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, again, the actual card, Cal Ripken Jr., and Tom Glavine. So this worked out really well. It was better than the 87, and I don't know if the 87 was an anomaly or if that's the way that those boxes were in terms of having basically doubles through the entire box. It could be that it just happened to be a transition point between two groupings of cards, and that normally it would come out like this, but it's a really good turnout of cards. And actually, now that I think about it, these first 2 cards are also potential error cards, and they're both corrected. So I did get all of the cards that could be errors. 2 were errors, 3 were corrected, so it's somewhere in the middle of the print run. The cards, as I've been going through, the cards really do tend to be very well lined up. This is off very little in terms of the centering. So the cards look great, the condition's great. These are fun to do, especially for the junk wax era, because the junk wax era really isn't filled with a lot of excitement, and doing something like this is a break from the way that the boxes actually work. So I had a lot of fun, and I'm thinking of getting another box to see if I can actually finish the set with just 2 boxes. It's not too much of a stretch for me, so we'll see how that goes. I hope that you've enjoyed this exploration through this box. I hope you'll hit the like button if you do, and subscribe, and check out my other videos. I don't open boxes very often. Mostly I talk about card sets themselves, but yeah, if you find something else you like on my channel, I hope that you explore around. Thank you very much for watching.